we're back for second episode of Watch Cook Eat. I'm Sharon, and this is Kim.
Hi.
This episode, we're going to teach you about brining a duck. We're going to do a Tart-Cherry with star anise and a little bit of garlic brine, and it's going to taste absolutely delicious.
And if you're wondering why brine, it's because it's really just a great way to get a juicier, tender flavor, and it also imparts some of the flavors. That's why we went with cherry as kind of a classic combination with duck.
Right, I mean, curing, so preserving a meat, you often put a little bit of salt in that, and then that dries out the moisture, which is what makes the meat decay more quickly. So you're preserving it a little bit, but the best thing about the Tart-Cherry juice is the fantastic smell, right?
Yeah, it is great, especially as soon as you've brined this duck and then you put it in the oven, your whole kitchen and maybe other rooms are going to fill with this really delicious aroma. That's going to be, it's going to make your mouth water, I think. And, I mean, a typical brine is just usually cold water and sugar and salt. And since we're using a cherry juice, we don't need to add any extra sugar. There's plenty of sugar in the juice as it is. We're using a Tart-Cherry juice, which is also good for you.
Yeah, so a lot of health benefits, mostly for your immune system, but some stuff about reduced muscle aches and arthritis.
Yeah, and it reduces inflammation. And
yeah, there's a lot of studies out there, so check out on the web for health benefits for cherries.
These are kind of local to us, Red Jacket, New York, and we really like their juices a lot, and it's great for a brine. We've tried this before. So to start, we're just going to fill up
here you go.
Container.
The cherry juice for you.
Thank you.
So keep these nice and cold, because that's part of the brining. So really super easy, right?
Yep.
Woo! I think I got covered in cherry juice there. Here's the last one for you.
Okay. And for the brine that we're doing, these are quart bottles, so 3 quarts, and we're going to do probably a little less than half a cup of salt to go with it. A kind of good rule of thumb is doing like a half a cup of kosher salt per 1 gallon of liquid. And we're using kosher salt, which is like bigger flakes. It's going to be not dissolve as quickly. It's going to adhere to the skin much better than if you're using regular table salt. And it's really easy to find. So we're just
absolutely. Yeah. You can do table salt, and you can do other types of juice as well. Orange juice is quite popular, and you could just do a straight up brine.
Yeah, and some people like the orange pineapple combo juices, or
yeah, so any flavor that you like. So
or if you're really kind of interested, you can go for a duck a la banana.
A la banana, right? That's from
4 Weddings and Funerals.
That's right.
Or the Faulty Towers.
Recipe for duck a la banana, which unfortunately went with him to his grave.
So we're going to crush some garlic as well.
Yeah, so that's really easy. Just take a knife and push down.
Yep.
You don't even have to skin it. You don't peel it. You just crush it with the things on. Can I take a look at one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, see if you just crush it with the casing on. I don't know, casing, that sounds wrong.
Skin.
The kernel, then you can just pull it off like that.
Yep.
And when it's squashed, then it'll release its
flavor, yeah.
Easily into the juice.
And then to go along with this, we're going to just do a little star anise as well. Sorry, it keeps giving it just cherry juice explosions everywhere. This is just, anisette, beautiful flavor, used a lot in Chinese cooking. I mean, if you use 5 spice, you're going to actually recognize this, but also goes good as garnish your cocktails.
Yes. And it gets a little, if you're doing this like as some kind of special occasion, then that's quite nice to have an unusual flavor. I think the last time we did this, we put a little lavender in there. We had some fresh lavender left over, and we just threw it in the glass.
Use what you smells good to you, what goes well. We think the cherry juice and the licorice flavor of the anise is really nice together. And now we're ready.
Oh yeah, it smells like Tart-Cherry.
Yep. And also, if you're using like fruit juices, you can also just top up with cold water. Just make sure it's cold, and it doesn't have to be all juice or anything like that. So we're gonna go and take our Long Island duck. This is about 5 pounds or so, and make a press side, make sure that gets in there. And this is gonna just about actually perfectly kind of submerge our duck. A little bit popping up in there. Should be okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be alright.
And then you want to refrigerate this for at least a few hours. We'd say like 3 or 4 at most, but ideally overnight is great.
I've heard of people, brine is quite traditional for Thanksgiving here in the States, if you're not American you're watching. People just take their brine turkey with them in the car to the relatives on the way there.
Yeah,
so.
some brines and it's kind of extra shaking it out, but usually,
Sure.
actually it's probably not more because you're stuck in Thanksgiving traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Going 4 miles an hour. It's probably very gentle. Right?
Gentle brining.
So we're going to put this in the fridge and brine it for a while, and then maybe overnight, and then we're going to be back to show you the rest of the duck cooking recipes and the tarty flat recipe that we're having to go with it.
Yep, we've picked a little bok choy, nice and easy green, and then the tarty flat is our favorites.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, French cheese,
bacon, potatoes.
Yeah. It's really, really good. It's like, this is a super decadent kind of meal, I think. Much more than the goose was.
It's going to be, very rich and I mean, but it goes quickly too. So
Yeah,
you think you'll have plenty left over.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Tarty flat goes fast.
Yeah, it does. That's a midnight snack kind of an event.
Oh yeah. So stay tuned or just click on to the next episode, and we'll talk to you then. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Hi, we're back, and we're here with our main side dish. The preparation of it's tartiflette, which is an amazing French dish of potatoes, and cheese, and bacon, and onions, and it's really delicious. Goes really well with any of the roast fowl we're having.
Yeah, it's nice. Any side dish. I think this is a little bit less creamy than a lot of French style desserts that you try to make for kind of special occasions. I've put a lot of cream with potatoes before and stuff like that.
Yeah. Right.
But this one is a little bit more hearty, right?
Yeah, and I mean it's a big ski resort dish. We first had it in the Alps in Les Arcs.
Right.
A French friend of ours who was his favorite. Ski treat.
That's nice.
And basically, what you start with, we have our mixture here, which you're going to take a look at, which is you start by parboiling some potatoes, and then chopping them up, and then you have some thinly sliced onions that go in with some oil, and they get golden brown. Then you add some slab bacon, and you could use regular bacon, but I'd really recommend slab bacon if you can get it for this recipe.
Yeah, don't scrimp on it. It's, I think you just take the calorie hit for this one, because otherwise you're not going to enjoy it so much.
Right, and
it
just
needs something chunky.
Yeah, and if they go in like little cubes, they come out much better to get that kind of taste. And also, it's not that hard to get anymore. I think Whole Foods has its slab bacon as well, unless you're lucky enough to have a butcher like we do at Esposito's who does it. And you only need, if you have half a pound, that's to go with 2.5 pounds of potatoes, so you don't really need that much.
Yeah, it's not hugely heavy. And this recipe does take quite a long time if you do it the first time you do it, but once you get used to the method, then you'll be able to cut the time down quite a lot.
Right, exactly.
Do you want to spoon some of that in?
Yeah, because we're going to layer a dish, and also just at the end you put in the potatoes with some salt and pepper and white wine to get this whole mixture together. And then you just kind of put a bottom layer of the mixture in this dish.
Yeah, depending on how small you've cut your potatoes.
Right, exactly.
You might have 1 or 2 layers. But, yeah.
We've gone for chunkier today. So, some people like them.
Definitely on purpose, right?
Like them diced. It's sometimes easier, but we used kind of Idaho potatoes today. We've used kind of the new potatoes before. You can even use baby new potatoes and just have them whole.
Yeah, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I think whatever potato you have left over, this is quite a good dish for that,
Yeah.
You can be slavish to the potato.
Right.
The one you like.
Slavish to the potato.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which potato you use.
Right.
It won't affect the dish very much.
And then we've got a layer of cheese.
Right. Okay, so We couldn't get the cheese that's traditional with this dish, which is reblochon, right?
Reblochon, yeah.
So we decided that we'd use raclette, and as you can see, I'm just throwing in some stuff here. Grab a few cubes.
Sure. Reblochon's a little more gooey than raclette, but both melt really well. And
yeah,
so
reblochon looks more like a brie kind of thing, like a more hard brie.
And raclette's kind of designed for melting. If you've ever seen those enormous wheels of people scraping off huge mounds of cheese, that's raclette.
Yeah, so it'll melt. It'll have the same kind of consistency of a nice gooey, cheesy sort of layer in there, which is nice. So yeah, I mean, that's a nice substitution.
You want to go for French cheese, definitely. Kind of keep with the tradition. But as with everything, you can always add your own twist. You can kind of you could do a kind of queso, or queso fresco if you want to go a bit Mexican with that.
Yeah, that would be a nice cheese. It's nice and light as well.
Right, exactly.
Goes gooey. I would like some spices.
Yeah.
Spicy potatoes.
Yeah,
that's
like
to me.
Yeah.
Easily spiced potatoes.
Papas fritas with.
Yeah. Leftover spicy potatoes might work quite well too.
Right, or any kind of hash brown mixture.
Yeah.
You might have.
Right, you could probably do that with a bit of cheese, and it would probably make it quite nice.
Grab that bit.
I was gonna eat that.
Okay, here we go. So bacon.
Oh, good.
So, you're gonna do your layers and then top with cheese again, and then it just goes in the oven around 350 for about 20 minutes. But you just keep an eye on it. I mean, if you do it for 20 minutes, it's going to come out really boiling hot. So, but it's nice because then you get kind of golden brown top and the melted cheese.
Melted cheese. Yeah, it's a really nice dish. Okay, so one more layer.
Yep.
Of cheese on the top. I think we're being pretty generous with the cheese today, right?
Yeah, we got tons.
Yeah, we're just ladling it in there. Did you have some?
Napkin, thanks.
I was just checking if you're having something while I'm working.
No.
Okay, that looks ready to me, right? Does that look like an even covering of cheese?
Yeah, I think so. And all good. And just grab that. Go into the oven.
Yeah, you can put that put it on the bottom shelf underneath your duck, and that way you can have them prepped together.
Yeah.
This one you can actually prep ahead of time as well. So if you wanted to leave it overnight and then just sort of plate it up, ready to go in the oven, and that cuts it down the time of cooking. Because the method is very sort of labor intensive. You've got to cook the potatoes and then cook the next step, which is the bacon and onion and stuff like that, and then you've got to do this. So the first time you do it, I think it takes quite a while to get used to the steps of the process. But if you want to be like a dinner party or something, then you want to
do it ahead of time.
Yeah, it's easy for that, and then that way you can just throw it in. Or if it's supper,
Yeah.
Ooh, supper. I said supper. Late night supper.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Gosh,
great.
that's like very English of me to say.
Or New York 1890s.
1890s, yeah.
Oyster supper at Dublin, I guess.
Want a glass of wine with me?
Yes, hello. And while we enjoy our glass of wine, we're going to have our duck coming out soon and our tartiflette and the bok choy. And we'll see you on the next clip.
Cool. Cheers.
Cheers.
So here's the final plating of everything, all the meal that we put together. Tartiflette looks gorgeous, nice and crispy, and lots of yummy melted cheese. We did a little bok choy on the bottom here. We just put a little already grated ginger and garlic paste, tossed it up in the pan, it was fun. And of course, the pièce de résistance, le duck.
Yeah, and you can see just from the skin and like the color that the cherry juice brine gave the entire duck, and that's going to go all the way through into the meat. It's going to be really juicy, really nice, and then as you saw, not that hard to do if you do it beforehand and overnight, and then straight in the oven.
Yeah, it looks great. I think this is an interesting recipe because this is an original recipe and a very traditional recipe together, right?
Yeah, and with a Chinese vegetable and
Chinese.
with some Pakistani garlic and ginger paste.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the map, which is a great way to cook.
Yeah, our favorite way.
Yeah, our absolute favorite way. And also, this is the biggest bone of contention that we have as cooks.
Oh yeah, of whether or not to be a strict constructionalist, like a Supreme Court judge, and just follow the letter of the recipe all you can, or if you just want to go all wavy gravy and be, oh well, you know, a little of this, a little of that, and just, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm about adjustments as you go, you know, so I'm about, oh, you've overcooked the potatoes, don't worry, you know, just throw them in, and don't worry about cooking too much at one end, cook a little bit less at the other, so I like to make adjustments, but that's just not right, I understand.
I don't know, it makes me completely insane. Yeah, exactly.
That's a fascinating explanation of our cultural differences there.
And my OCD. But I do like to follow recipes, and I guess that everyone says like the only time you really, really have to do that is usually in baking. I'm pretty much like, you know, and then even then you're like, oh, bad.
Yeah, that'll be alright.
No, I don't know. I mean, you can just like eyeball it and get a souffle to rise, so who am I to disagree with that
Exactly.
ability?
Why, thank you.
So, and we may be doing cheese souffle in our next thing. We've got our next fowl feature coming up, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that, and you know, come on back, and hope you enjoyed our duck, bok choy, and tartiflette. I'm gonna have some. Right
Yeah, me too.
The cheese.
Oh, cheese, yum.
That's cheese, bacon, potatoes, and onion.
Oh.
So, cheers, and thanks everybody for watching.